Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All Season 365 podcast. When you have a moment, give us a follow on YouTube and Spotify. Today, we have a special guest. We have Coach Howell, running back coach at North Pitt High School in Bethel, North Carolina. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Coach. How you doing?
Man, I'm well, man. Well, thank you for making time to hop on. I appreciate you for making time to jump on so we can talk a little bit about running backs and touch on recruiting and other topics as well. But before we get to that, give our listeners a quick snapshot about your coaching journey up until this point.
Okay, great. So I started coaching middle school. I was athletic director over at Snowden Schools down in the rural North Carolina, small town. So we started. I started coaching there basketball. Started then I developed into getting into football. So I transitioned from football a year after that. Started coaching the running backs at North Pitt. But I've been around the game all my life. Playing high school, like now I led to coaching the running backs in North Pitt. So now I'm here and grateful to have an opportunity to groom some young men.
Absolutely, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're working with my college teammate, CJ Wilson. Yeah.
Correct, yes, sir. CJ, a great coach, real good guy, real good guy.
Well, the next time you see him, man, tell him that I said what's up, man. Anytime we get a chance to link up and talk ball, and we always take you back, man, back in time, man. So glad that you're there to help him out, man.
Yes, sir. Will do. I'll let him know.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Running back position. I personally think that is the most important position in high school sports, yet alone all the sports, simply because you it's very hard to win any football games without it. I mean, you can have quarterbacks, you can have wide receivers, championship level defense. But if you don't have a guy that can take that pill and pick up meaningful yards and short yards and red zone and catch the ball and help with protection, it's kind of hard to win football games. So, in your experience, what makes a good high school running back?
First off, you got to be a great listener, uh, great student. So the grades will reflect how great of a running back they can be. Uh, So my number one thing is grades always, and trying to get them to the next level. So, but if I have a good listener, a guy that works, then this it won't be an issue trying to train him up and to be a good running back. So just like you said, the running back is a very important position. You kind of combined all the positions in one. So protecting. You could be a O line or O lineman at sometimes. Pass blocking. When you get the ball, you got to be able to run. Uh, you could be a receiver. You got to catch the ball. You got to run. So I think it just combines everything into one at that running back position. Sometimes running back even throw the ball. They got these, the new formations, the Wildcats, and then, all those things. So the running back is a very important position to me. Um, but yeah, just having a great listener, someone that listens, coachable. Um, I think that makes a great running back.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And coachability equals availability. But like you said, man, in order to play that position at a high level, especially in the high school level, college or NFL. You have to be a willing pass protector, like you said. You are connected to the pass pro, the offensive lineman. You have to be able to run between the tackles. You have to be able to run outside the tackles. You have to be able
Mhm.
to catch the ball in space, and you have to be a leader as well. So it's a very important characteristics of a running back. Describe your coaching philosophy for developing your running backs.
So what I normally do is just real simple. It's more of a challenging thing to me. Just want to see see where they at mentally, by just giving a few instructions on certain things. I think that the brain is less. It tends to not work as good as you'll like it once a player is tired. So what I like to do is kind of wear them out a little bit, and
Uh,
then try to teach them something new to see if they're able to retain it, or to teach them, the muscle memory of where you need to be at for certain plays, first and 10, how many yards you want to get if you 3-1, 3rd and 1. Uh, not running to the outside, running to the inside, even if it's, just little things like that, just mental things to see where they at when they're tired. That way, when it comes in the game, muscle memory kicks in. You know exactly what to do. So I like to kind of wear them down and try to make them work as much mentally more than physically. Of course, you just got once you get the ball, you just run. You got to find the holes and things like that. So that's what we work on as far as uh, working on the cuts, the one cuts, the jukes, the running over. So I have at North Pitt, I have power backs right now, and maybe one or two elusive backs, but more so the power backs. So again, telling them, hey, I know you might not break for a 40, 50 yard run, but I need at least 5 to 6 when you throw the ball, perfectly 7, to make it easy on the quarterbacks uh, going down.
Absolutely, man. You brought up some good points as well. I mean, mental toughness. I mean, you just talked about that mental toughness. I mean, the old saying goes, as the game wears on, the running back's supposed to get stronger. So, in order to play that position at a high level, on any level, mental toughness is number one. And then you talked about the evaluation of the position. I mean, there's years where you might have some big backs, and some years you might have some little backs, and then there's some years like you have right now where you have a combination of two. So it's very important that you can assess that and develop their characteristics so they can be successful. Which brings me to my next topic. How do you teach running backs how to read defenses and to make proper cuts? Like what type of cuts are you working on? Are you working on jump cuts? Are you working on you mentioned your big backs, one cut runners, getting on the field, breaking tackles, stiff arm. What type of tools are you giving your running backs, and how do you teach your running backs how to read defenses?
So every day, of course, again, I have my main backs, the power backs. So my number one thing is I know they have power, right? So what I like to work on is the footwork of that. So every day, every practice, we do the ladder drills, just agility, working on their feet, working on the cuts. Um, and I'm one of those guys where I don't try to create something new. It's already something invented, so why would I have to create something when it's already something invented? So what I do is I get a lot of different drills from a lot of different head coaches. Well, not head coaches, but position coaches at the running back at the college level. Just being getting a lot of experience from them and learning what works for me and what doesn't work. So a lot of times we do the jump cuts, uh, work on the jump cuts. The one cut, get up the field. But mainly it's the one cut right now because of the power backs that I have. So just getting the one cut up the field. Don't do too much dancing. We're just going north and south with the ball, straight down the field. So we'd have that, and then to read the defense, we work with the quarterbacks a lot. So one good thing, the quarterback might see a coverage, you know call out the coverage. The running back sees the linebackers, be able to direct them, be able to point them out. The Mike, the Will, the Strong, so be able to see. Also, watching film, knowing what linebackers, where they should be, who's the best linebacker for the opponent. Who's the weaker linebacker. We all know, obviously, the Mike, is probably one of the top linebackers in middle school. It's
Hmm.
probably one of the best linebackers. So just watching what they do, how they respond to certain things, and working off that. So a lot of teams are second half teams. So the first half we figure out what their defense was given, what the players given. Then second half, we make adjustments and change that. So just having running backs that understand, listen. Again, it goes back to coaching, being able to be coachable, and wanting to take that next step and being a good running back. Because everybody could just get out there and run the ball, but the mental, physical, you need all those components to be one of the top running backs. So yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And it's funny that you mentioned, this, your replies. I was just talking to a mentee of mine yesterday about, the differences between you getting on the field and you not being on the field on the college level. And I'm sure it's on the NFL level as well, and even high school level. Even though high school you can get away with some athleticism, but in college, everybody can run, everybody can catch. But the way you get on the field is understanding defenses. I mean, understanding, you mentioned the quarterback pointing out the Mike linebacker. Well, in the college ranks, running backs are taught to block first pass Mike, which means you're responsible for any defender that's past the Mike. Well, in order for you to understand where you fit at in the protection, you must first know who the Mike is, but most importantly, utilize those techniques you was talking about to fit properly to keep the quarterback clean. And then also understanding, down linemen, the difference between the three and the shade and the five, etc.
Mhm.
Because which we're going to get to next. In order for you to know where to go, you must understand the blocking scheme and how it fits versus that defensive front. So
Absolutely.
my next question is, what's your experience with different blocking schemes? I mean, we're talking about zone or gap schemes or powers. Like, what is your experience with blocking schemes?
So the number one thing we've been doing a lot of times is we work on a lot of RPO.
Oh, okay.
So with that, you might get the ball, you might not, but you still
Hmm.
have to end up blocking, or
Yes.
so is kind of having a feel for the block and kind of reading the defense and seeing who's the immediate threat. Because the number one thing is protecting the quarterback, giving him time to get the ball off. So even chip blocks and getting out
Mhm.
and on screens or little flats, but really selling it. You really got to block every play like you got to block, and then you got to kind of chip like every play that you get. You got to sell it. So the better the blocking in the beginning, it makes it a lot easier for the screens to come in later on down the line. Um, but normally, we had a great quarterback last year. We probably have a good one coming up. So a lot of times we have the quarterbacks tell them, hey, he might give them a call, right or left, or the immediate player that's giving us the most problems to pick them
Mhm.
up. Um, but a lot of times I tell my running backs, you got to be aggressive because you can't sit back and do it. A block. You can't when the quarterback hikes the ball, you can't just take one step up and survey the field. You got to go kind of be aggressive because if you sit back, that lineman or that linebacker is coming full speed at you. So you backpedaling the running back and the linebackers coming full speed. 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get knocked out. So like I tell my guys, you better deliver the hit before you get hit. So working on those blocks really helped out, and then of course having the power backs as the primary backs helps out a lot because a lot of times after you wear and tear the linebackers really they get tired of having to deal with a bigger back, so
Yes.
that helps out a lot with our blocking scheme. So yeah.
Absolutely, and the importance of the RPOs and coaches who are listening. If you haven't implemented RPOs into your rushing offense, I highly recommend that you at least give it a look because what it does is it keeps pressure off your run game. Everyone knows. I mean, it's hard to block that seven defender. So the question is, if you call a run, what are you going to do about that seventh defender? So make sure that you have a plan there. Make sure that you understand, the blocking scheme so that whenever your backs are running, they know where to go because, well, they just know where to go. Before we shift to player development, how do you adapt your coaching to different players' learning styles?
So I'm a teacher as well. So again, that development in school, 'cause I teach weightlifting. So the development, talking to the kids while in class, you kind of get a feel for who the player is, the student is. So of course, and then just it's a growing system. So you get starting middle school, then they work their way up to high school. So it's I kind of already know who certain players are just by being around, from Pot One to middle school, just watching those games and understanding what players coming in, who's in our district of coming in. So just kind of keeping an eye on that. But again, being a teacher, being inside the school system with them, it helps out for me to develop and learn who they are as a person. And then, once you develop that relationship, they kind of tell you, hey, I like to do this, I like to do X, Y, and Z. I want to try this, I want to try that. So learning who the player is, um, as a student, and then athlete next. So that helps out a lot with the transition of um, what kind of back they want to be. Like my power back now, have a guy Jerron Clemens. He's a power back, but in his mind, he's elusive back.
Mm,
Um, but he understands that in order for him to do what he needs to do, he has to deliver the hit first, and then the linebackers and the linemen and the corners will back off after they realize, like, hey, I can't just tackle this guy like I would a smaller back. We gotta gang tackle him. So again, he's learning. He's learned it very well to again attack first, and then make his way around to the elusive cuts and things like that, or the running to the outside and things like that.
my man, my man. Player development and motivation. What's your approach to building relationships with your players and earning their trust? I mean, for example, before I even mention any football, the first thing that I ask a player is about their name. Like, hey man, what's your name? Not your nickname, not little boo boo and all that, but what is your name? And then after that, I'll just ask, hey man, tell me more about your family. Like how many siblings do you have? Your mom and your dad, right? Because like I know that if a relationship is not developed, then in today's time with these kids, man, forget about it. So, what's your approach to building a relationship with your players and earning their trust?
So again, it goes back from the day one when they first walk into the building, or when I first walk into the field with them. Just learning who they are, and then what's so great, word of mouth. You have previous players that telling, hey, Coach Howell don't like this, he don't
Nice.
like that, but he will do this for you, he will do that for you.
I like it.
So is you got to go. I go hard on my players. I'm kind of have the old school mentality. Um,
Nice.
got to yeah, just gotta make sure they grinding. And then take care of them. Uh, give them that person like a father figure, big brother, however they want to see it. But developing that relationship with them. Like, hey, I'm gonna work you, but I promise you, I'm gonna get you where you want to be at.
Mm,
I'm gonna get you to the next level, whether that's D3, D2, D1. But I'm gonna do everything I can to get you to that next level. And I think that's what the number one thing a lot of players want to do is make it to the next level. So they, of course, just with, and I spoke to you before about it. But just the recruiting process of getting the players, get them in and getting them to a school so they can experience that level of play. And I have done so far. So again, word of mouth travels, and they realize, like, hey, um, yeah, Coach Howell is, again, he's gonna be hard on you, but he is gonna help you out the best way he can. So yeah, so just
absolutely.
developing that relationship and building that trust with them, and also uh, quick, just a quick story. I had a running back. My guy Jerron Clemens, again, the number one, well, my the starting running back for us. We had we bumped heads. We bumped head one time. And then I just reached out to his dad. Talked to his dad because obviously he's still a kid, So let me talk to your dad first.
Mm,
Let me talk to him, see how he feel about things, because I can't talk. I can't talk to you as a player,
right.
but let me develop that relationship with your dad so you could see that everything I do would be for the best of you, for the
Mm,
best for you. Once I had a conversation with his dad, his dad kind of talked to him, and then after that, he's been one of the best guys I had, with the respect, just showing me the respect, and giving me his all.
That's what it's about, man. It takes a village. That's what it takes. It takes a village to help kids to reach that next level. Which brings me to my next question. How do you motivate your players to perform at their best, especially after a setback? So if things don't go their way, like you just mentioned, how do you navigate through that to help them to recalibrate and continue to head in the right direction?
So what I do is, ooh, so take reps, move them down the depth chart. So those are big things. Especially you got these big games, the homecoming games, or the games where you play opponents where, uh, you know, um, they're on the lighter side of the schedule. So the senior nights, just the incentives of running back, take those away, and just kind of show them that, hey, if you want to play, this is how it's got to be done. So it might be we on the goal line first, like one first and 5 on the goal line. I tell my running back, "Hey, if you can't get in one try, 5 yards, you can't get one try, 5 yards, you're coming out. I'm gonna get another running back that
Mm.
can." So
Oh,
yeah, so I did that. I did that one time, and then see that's all I had to do was that one time, and then they learned. Say the
yes.
next time
Better cash in.
I'm telling you. So I did that one time. They allowed in and say, you know what, he'll do it. And I put in probably maybe the fourth or third string running back in. Skipped over the second string and just put in the third and fourth in just to show him that, hey, I have somebody that can get me 5 yards if you don't want to get me 5 yards.
Mm.
So they end up scoring and they end up getting mad at me, but they realize like, hey,
Better
let's give me
tighten up.
that. Right, exactly. So yeah, that's how I kind of motivate them. Also, if you score, just kind of giving them incentives. We have goals that we set in the beginning of the year,
Nice.
for where we want to be at, for what coaches is looking for. So we just have those expectations for them, same way they have them for me. So
Love it, man. Love it. So what are you, in your eyes, what are your strengths as a coach? And what are areas where you feel like you can improve as a coach?
I think my strengths. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go with my weakness. I think my weakness is. I think everybody I think everybody has a chance. I want to play. I want to play everybody. And I
Right.
think that that's like some of my downfall because I have players that are just not ready.
Mm.
Or if I feel as if they want a shot. If you give them a shot, it might they might shock you and. So I do. I think that might be we're just kind of giving everybody the opportunity to play. And that which takes away opportunities from the guy. Um, but then even then, that's not even big enough a weakness. But I think that's just like my number one thing. I just can't shake. Just kind of getting everybody some play, so everybody some
Yeah.
carries. I do believe my strengths are development,
Mm.
developing the running back's IQ of the game.
Mm.
Again, mental. It's not really the game to me. Is more mental than physical. So just learning what to do in certain situations. Being one of the top student athletes GPA wise, I do believe I am for certain the running my running back group has the highest GPA on the team. So
Mm. Love
I'm
it.
one of those coaches that I will pop in, sit at in your classroom with you. Right, especially during my planning, I will, or I email the teachers. They email me constantly. Just making sure they on the right path. But um that is my strength, just the player development as a whole, especially with the IQ, just getting them prepared.
My man, nicely stated, man. And I love to ask all coaches that question. I even ask myself that question as well. I mean, for example, you just mentioned our areas of improvement. I don't know everything, but I'm always trying to figure out ways to improve. I mean,
Mhm.
coaching clinics, etc. And if I don't know, I'm not going to pretend that I know. I will ask to find the answer. But areas of strength, like you said, I mean, just holding them accountable. And I also have that weakness too, man, like all coaches do, because whenever you were talking about the playing time. When you develop a relationship with all your guys, you want them all to be successful, right? But unfortunately, like as you know, there's only one football, right? So I'm
Right.
pretty sure if you feel like you have the best overall depth on the team, your goal is to advocate for your position. Say, hey, listen, I got running backs that can catch better than receivers. So why don't we,
Absolutely.
instead of starting one back and four receivers, why don't we just start five running backs and just teach them how to play receiver, right? So at the end of the day, man, advocate for your players. There's nothing wrong with that, man. But we all been there, and as long as you coaching, man, you're always gonna, be put into that situation. So
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that. Let's segue before I let you go, man. Let's touch on recruiting. Again, you and I, we cross paths. We'll talk about the recruiting. Um, but what previous job experience has prepared you for recruiting? I mean, you're passionate about it. It's something that you want to very much be a part of.
Mhm.
What previous job experience has prepared you for that role?
But first off, let me say thank you. Because I reached out to you. You got back right to me. With the help, and I appreciate it. A lot of coaches. Again, it takes a village. So, just reaching out to you and being able to get information from you, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, but just to answer your question, my previous experience was I did my GA down at Alabama A&M.
Nice,
Um, and during this time, we had a loaded team with Kill Glass, Tank Dell, Brian Jenkins. We had some top names playing that year. Uh, just being around those guys, being around the coach, seeing what he likes, what he don't likes, seeing how he recruits, seeing how just reaching out to the coaches there, working with them and seeing how
nice,
not just football, but uh I did my G as the student sports information director. So I was working with a
nice.
lot of different sports. So the baseball coach recruited a different way, basketball recruited a different way, but just understanding their process, their thought process of recruiting. So that gave me the most experience as far as recruiting, just trying to get the players recruited. But again, it's different from college and high school coaches recruiting. So it's a big difference between those two, though. So I'm
That,
still learning. I still learning about the college process, but I'm really learning about the high school process as well. So
yeah,
it's
man.
hard. Hmm.
Yeah, man. No problem at all. As far as the shout out, I mean, at the end of the day, it's funny because before I got into the recruiting world in the high school ranks, it's something I was passionate about, but I didn't
Hmm.
really know where to start because, to be honest with you, like you said, there's a lot of information out there. Oh my gosh, there's so much information. I mean, if you type in Google, like if you go to Google and type in like high school recruiting, I
Oh
mean,
goodness.
pages and pages and pages and pages of information. But over time, and I appreciate my head coaches, all the head coaches that I work for giving me an opportunity to develop in the area. But I will say this that the primary difference between college and high school is resources. I mean, for example, when you have a Power Five kid in your program, you know it, and everyone else knows it. Well, those kids, I mean, are not hard to find. All you really have to do is just get them to a showcase. The coaches look at their size, their strengths, their measurables, their talent, their tape, and then boom, they get their offers. With them, it's about managing the extra stuff, right? Helping them and their family to navigate the pitfalls of this coach telling them this and
Hmm.
NIL that and you know stress management. So anytime that you're working with a Power Five kid, it's more about stress management than anything else, right? But I personally think that recruiting coordinators or any high school coach that's associated with recruiting outside the head coach. It's really about helping those other guys. Okay, helping the Division 2, the Division 3, the NAI guys to get some attention, because those departments in college, the Division 2, Division 3s, are much smaller than the Power 5 schools or the P4 schools. The P4 schools have tons of resources, but the all the schools below that, they don't have that many resources. So it's about getting the information out. It's about blasting emails across the country. It's about making sure that your email database is current. It's about making sure that you reach the coach that's recruiting your area. And then when you contact them, making sure that you have a format like a prospect sheet or something that's clean enough for them to just click on the link, and takes them exactly to where they need the information, the film, that the academics are updated, the prospect content information is updated. I say to say this, man, it's a very tedious process, very
Yeah,
tedious process. But in order for you to be successful in that realm on the high school level, your organizational skills have to be off the charts, because information is pretty fluid and it's always changing. So the benefits is your kids are going to get at least an opportunity to be evaluated, right? And their tape and their academics will, dictate where they go. But the downside is, most positions are not paid, and it's a lot of work, and it's a year-round job.
yes, yes.
It's a year-round job, man. So there's definitely pros and cons. But once those kids are going off to school, and college coaches are visiting and they know who you are and vice versa, that makes it a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
So
building a relationship with those coaches helps out a lot. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, man. So before I let you go, what piece of advice would you give a high school coach looking to improve as a running back coach, or a coach that wants to improve with recruiting?
The number one advice I would give, uh, keep going. I know a lot of times, again, a year long process, and a lot of times we're not paid for the service that we provide, but that shouldn't be a downfall to you. So just keep going. Just keep reaching out. There's gonna be a lot of no's, but just keep reaching out. It only takes that one college to say yes, to agree to that, to your student and get them going. So just keep reaching out, keep doing it, keep trying. And I tell myself that daily. I get down, just keep going. So that's the best advice I give, because I the best advice to myself. Just keep going.
Absolutely, man. Well, nicely stated. Well, thank you for listening to the All Season 365 podcast. I'm Coach Simmons with Coach Howell, and we signing off.
Yes, sir.